this video, we're covering drivers hasty in exiting a side road at an intersection. With haste comes a level of urgency to the driving. And the greater the urgency, the greater the risk of things going wrong. So the greater the haste, the greater the urgency, the greater the risk. In the following animations and real-life clips, we'll have a look at the manifestations of such haste in a number of different areas, and so we'll have a look at some of the signs that indicate a hasty driver. In the first animation, one of the signs is that such a hasty driver doesn't slow down when approaching an intersection, and we'll see that in this animation. So there we go, the driver of the red vehicle not slowing down at all and lands up in a collision. Real life clip to demonstrate that. So there the driver, hasty, doesn't slow down, check out for any approaching traffic, just proceeds across the intersection. The second animation shows a driver who is willing to take a risk. Due to his haste, he's prepared to take a risk and maybe try to shoot in front of the path of oncoming traffic, and that's what this animation is showing. Real life clip. Driver thinks he can quickly make it across the intersection. The next animation has a look at something similar to the first animation, where we had the driver of the red vehicle coming down the side road, not slowing down. So this is very similar, excepting that here the road is a lot narrower, and so the vision of the driver is a lot more restricted, and yet despite these limitations, still continues to forge across without slowing down when approaching the intersection. So once again, showing that element of risk. Yeah, in the real life clip, we'll see that because of these buildings on the side of the road in the corner, the driver coming down this lane doesn't have much visibility of any approaching traffic, and yet that doesn't deter him from continuing at the same speed through the intersection. The next animation shows a certain level of obliviousness. So once again, due to the haste, a driver perhaps will notice these vehicles, but doesn't have the time to actually check properly for any other vehicles coming from another direction. Here we see evidence of that. This driver noticing perhaps these vehicles here, but doesn't bother to check because of his haste, the camera coming along. So a second real life clip just to demonstrate that haste from a side road. We've got a driver. You'll see as the video progresses, this driver coming down the side road. Now he has clear visibility of the camera. We'll also see as the video advances further that there is an oncoming vehicle from the opposite side. So his view of vehicles from either side is not restricted. He also has a long enough distance and time in which to notice these approaching vehicles, and yet despite that still forges ahead due to his haste. In our last clip, what we're having a look at is a driver that is approaching the intersection at too high a speed, realizes there is an intersection, tries to slow down, but because of his speed overshoots into the intersection, into the path of oncoming traffic. And there we go. Driver from the side overshooting into the intersection. So haste is something difficult just to determine from another driver's actions, not always readily discernible, but it just highlights once again the fact that things can go wrong, that when we're driving along, we cannot just assume that things will act as normal. We always have to be in expectation of things going wrong. And so if you haven't done so already, go and have a look at the 3 golden rules, which really highlight where our mindset should be when it comes to driving. And if you can apply these 3 golden rules to each of the videos as you go through the videos and also the training montage section afterwards, it'll make you a much better driver, because it'll help you to prepare for any situations that can arise, but also to be able to plan escape routes. And so that's the idea of this course, is to help us to try and anticipate where things can go wrong, already planning escape routes by second nature once we're into the habit of it, by second nature as we're driving along, so that if something does arise, well, then we're not suddenly confronted with a situation. We already have a plan in the back of our minds, and just having that plan will give us that fraction of a second advantage to be able to maybe avoid a situation and possibly even a fatality. And so that's the objective of this course. And just lastly, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It will really help to promote the channel as well. Enjoy the rest of the course.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.